People from every walk of life. Some may be titans of industry, the president of a big corporation. Others may be new to our city, the clerk in the neighborhood shoe store or a school custodian. But here, they all come together with equal power, no voice rising above another, in unison to carry out an important civic mission, to do justice.
Will all the jurors please rise and raise your right hand? Jurors, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will try the case of the people of the state of New York against James Smith, the defendant, in a just and impartial way, with the best of your judgment, in accordance with the law and the evidence?
I do.
The jury is the conscience of the community and one of the key checks and balances that promotes freedom and ensures justice. I know that it can seem like an inconvenience, but I invite you to view jury service not merely as an imposition on your busy life, but also as an opportunity to participate directly in the operation of government and ensure that justice is done. Remember that when you serve on a jury, you're not only guaranteeing the rights of others to a fair trial, but guaranteeing the same rights for yourself and your family. For centuries, people throughout the world have yearned for a right that we sometimes take for granted in this country, the right to a trial by jury. A jury that mirrors the diverse ethnic, social, economic, and political perspectives and values of the community is best equipped to sit in judgment of our fellow citizens and render a verdict that is fair and consistent with the law. But in this country's early history and, in some instances, up until quite recently, that was an unfulfilled promise. Today, the system is far more inclusive and far closer than ever before to fulfilling the promise of our founders, a jury of we, the people.
Serving on a jury is not only a legal responsibility, but a privilege and a keystone of our democratic system of governance. The jury system safeguards individual rights, upholds principles of fairness, and permits people just like you and me to ensure the justice system is fair, accountable, and reflective of societal values. Remember, justice starts at jury, and jury starts with you.
Jurors have an awesome responsibility, and they're treated with respect. There are only 2 times when the court officer bellows, "All rise," when the judge walks into the courtroom or leaves, and when the jurors come and go. It's the judge's job to guide us through a case, but society has granted the ultimate power to make decisions, render verdicts, to what we call a jury of our peers.
In the name of God, do your duty.
If we are to have faith in justice, we need only to believe in ourselves and act with justice.
Once sworn in, the jury's mission is crucial. The faith we put in them is unparalleled. It's something we decided a long time ago. When that notice comes in the mail, we look at it and we think perhaps, do I open this? Can I afford to do this? But any of us who have served on a jury quickly realize that we have become part of the fabric of American society. There are 2 ways Americans get to make a difference as they participate in civic life. One is voting in a voting booth. The other is serving on a jury.
It did not occur on a curve. The accident occurred on a stretch of absolutely straight highway. She rode to the tavern in his car, didn't she?
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
I'm Judge Norman St. George, and I have the privilege to serve as the First Deputy Chief Administrative Judge of the New York State Trial Courts. I'd like to take a moment to speak to you about jury service. The right to a trial by jury is a fundamental bedrock of our system of justice, guaranteed by both the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of New York. In our New York State trial courts, we work to ensure justice for all, and all jurors are an integral part of providing that justice. We cannot do it without you. Jury service is an important and extraordinary public responsibility that provides a unique opportunity to directly participate in our democracy. What is often met with reluctance in the beginning quickly turns into individuals being invested in the process, and for most is an extremely favorable experience. Remarkably, last year over 380,000 New Yorkers participated in jury service. That is our Constitution at work. People from all over our great state of New York with varied backgrounds and experiences answered the call to protect a right our forefathers fiercely fought for. They were asked to be fair, impartial, to listen, and to think, and leave any preconceived notions and biases at the door. I thank the hundreds of thousands of people who have participated in this noble service, and I invite you to answer the call the next time you are asked to serve. Join the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Taylor Swift, who both have had the privilege of serving our justice system as jurors. Your fellow citizens are counting on you. Thank you in advance for your service.
This is the story of the juror who is moved to see the importance of service by the crime committed against their own loved one.
When my granddaughter was murdered and my family sought justice for her, we saw firsthand how important jurors are to ensuring justice.
The jury is the conscience of the community, the voice of we the people. Justice starts at jury, and jury starts with you.
When our neighbors report for jury service, we want them to feel comfortable. So we greet them with a smile, show care, concern, and a bit of humor. The entire jury team gives the audience 2 thumbs up, the universal sign of surviving jury service, and the jurors are encouraged to do the same. It's not unusual for us to encounter a former juror in the supermarket or at the gas station, and often we greet each other with the 2 thumbs up and a big smile. Remember, justice starts at jury, and jury starts with you.
I've been an employee for the Unified Court System for over 25 years, and serving on a grand jury was one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. The behind-the-scenes look at the meticulous process from police to district attorney to the grand jurors who vote whether or not to indict was eye-opening. It reaffirmed for me the grand jury's role in protecting the community, the victims, as well as the rights accused. Justice starts at jury. Jury starts with you.
The jury is one part of a complex court system. There are many careers within the courts, all engaged in that complex choreography to keep the system functioning well. People doing jobs in our courts, some the public sees, some they don't, all vital to the third branch of government, an important system, dealing every day with matters of liberty and problem solving. There are court officers and interpreters, technical staff, stenographers, law clerks. It's a daily ballet playing out in our courtrooms, in many buildings, in many counties throughout New York State.
Looking for a rewarding career? Join the New York State Courts.
Become a court officer in our upstate region. Great salary, benefits, and family-friendly schedule.
My name is Jennifer Pacheco, and I'm a New York State court officer. Court officers maintain security and courtroom decorum, providing safety for the customers who come in as well as the staff. The academy training was difficult, it was challenging, but then that means it's a good program because it's meant to be that. After delivering my daughter about 30 days postpartum, I started my training, and the type of training that I had to endure tested all the muscles that I didn't work for 9 months. So it was sit-ups, push-ups, it was running, and defense tactics. So definitely testing my endurance and my stamina. So that was definitely a challenging time, but it helped develop and cultivate me as an officer. I wanted a profession that was not going to make me sacrifice or make my job more important than my first job, which is being a parent. I am home nights and weekends unless I choose to pick up extra shifts if they are available. Working for New York State comes with its advantages, one of which the more popular holidays, recognized holidays, affect us. So court is closed on like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Veterans Day, those things. So I get to enjoy those times with my family and I don't have to pick and choose.
The unsung heroes of the court system are the court officers. They maintain safety and security for all the courts. They make everything work smoothly. It's a crucial mission. I have deep respect for their public service, and I know firsthand that responsibility as a son of a former police officer who then became a lawyer. Those of us in the media could not possibly carry out our work without the presence and the support and the guidance of the court officers every day, and we thank them for that.
My name is Cynthia West. I'm a Supreme Court recorder in Albany, New York. I go into the courtroom and record voice testimony or verbatim testimony. I love my job because it's never the same every day. It's always something different. You can come in one day and you're doing a murder trial. You can come in the next day, you're doing a trial in surrogate's court or an adoption. The next day you could be doing a contested matrimonial. It's fascinating. It's never dull, and I absolutely love it. A person's life hangs on what we take and what is preserved. So if it's preserved either in the paper, if it's preserved in the cloud, if it's preserved electronically, however that's going to be done, it can mean a person's life, that they're not kept in prison when they shouldn't be there. In New York State, there is always a need for a good court reporter, somebody that's willing to come in and to learn and to become educated in how we do things in the different 4 areas of the court. I don't regret for a minute becoming a court reporter. It was the best decision of my life.
We're excited to announce our new title, the Court Reporter Trainee. This title will allow students with a certification to come out of school right into the court system for employment and begin their career. And it's a 1-year traineeship, and then you become a court reporter with the same promotional opportunities to become senior and principal court reporter as the people that share the dais with me today. So how do you join our team? Or visit our website at www.nycourts.gov/careers.
My name is Lourdes Cardona, and a court interpreter for the Spanish language. I work for the New York State Unified Court System, the 3rd Judicial District. A court interpreter, our job is to provide assistance to interpret from the native language of the person in need of interpretation to the English language and vice versa. New York State has a very diverse population, and it requires a very comprehensive language interpretation program. The Office on Language Access counts with 253 interpreters on staff. Also have a list of 1,500 certified per diem interpreters, which represents about 200 languages. Also, they provide services for sign language interpretation. To become a court interpreter, you have to pass the civil service exam. That's the way you become certified. It takes a lot of studying and practicing to pass the exam. It's not an easy one, but it's a very rewarding career if you can get certified and get lucky enough to have a job in the court system. My job is very satisfying at every level. I enjoy helping people, especially when people come into the judicial system. They're very scared, they're confused, and there's something about them when they see you speaking their own language and you are a friendly face, something familiar to them. They feel more relaxed. They also know at the moment you speak the language, they know that they are going to be heard and they are going to be able to tell the story, to ask for the remedies that they expecting the court to provide for them. I never have a job that I feel more appreciated, supported, celebrated. My accent is celebrated. They know because of me, they can communicate with the people in need in the court system.
My father was a police officer who then went to law school and became a lawyer. My siblings are prosecutors and criminal defense lawyers. We O'Donnell kids grew up in courtrooms watching my father work. I spent my early years as a journalist covering trials. My first book was about a civil rights case that started in a courtroom and went all the way to the United States Supreme Court and changed legal history. That's how important the work of every courtroom in this country, and especially in this state, is.
My name is Joseph Zayas, and I am the Chief Administrative Judge of the state of New York. I am a lifelong New Yorker, and the center of my professional life since I graduated from law school in 1988 has been the New York State Courts. I began my career as a public defender with the Legal Aid Society. After that, I had the great fortune of working as a law clerk for a judge who became my mentor and my best friend. My own career as a judge began when I was appointed to the New York City Criminal Court. I eventually became a Supreme Court Justice presiding over felony criminal cases, and later was appointed to the Appellate Division's Second Department. Today, I am in charge of the administration of New York's vast court system. I frequently point out that what happens every day in New York's courts is often the subject of movies, television shows, newspaper articles, podcasts, and on and on. Those of us who work in our courthouses get to be in the, quote, room where it happened and experience these important events firsthand. Throughout my career, I've had a front row seat for so many interesting, dramatic, and sometimes heart-rending cases. Things have changed so much over the course of my career. When I was a public defender, I worked on death penalty cases back when New York still had the death penalty. It seems like that was another lifetime in a completely different place. Today, our criminal courts do so much more than incarcerate people who have committed serious crimes. Yes, we still have to do that sometimes. But more and more, through our innovative problem-solving courts, we are trying to change people's lives. We have nearly 350 problem-solving courts across the state. Each is dedicated to addressing a particular kind of issue that frequently results in criminal justice system involvement. Substance abuse, mental illness, domestic violence, human trafficking, the difficulties veterans often face after transitioning back to civilian life. The sort of challenges, in other words, that so many of us have seen in our family members, friends, and neighbors struggle with. These courts connect participants with treatment, counseling, services, and other interventions so that hopefully they can go on to lead productive, law-abiding lives. It's important that the public understands this important aspect of our work, and we're trying our best to better communicate about all of the things that the courts are doing. We hope that the more people know about what we do, the more they'll want to join us. You can take my word for it. There is no more fulfilling career than one in New York State court system.